Welcome to Her Real Estate Journey, the podcast where we celebrate and empower women in real estate. I'm your host, Lisa Dillon. Each week, we'll delve into their journeys from the struggles they've faced to the glories they've achieved. Our guests are rock star women agents who are sharing their experiences, insights, and advice to help you succeed in your own real estate career. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, this podcast is for you. Together, we'll explore the highs and lows of the real estate industry, learn from each other's experiences, and build a supportive community of women who are making their mark. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let's get started. So we are talking to Nicole Hadju today. Super excited on her real estate journey. Nicole is in Chicago. She's a top producing agent there, and I cannot wait to learn more about your journey and all things Nicole. And so let's get started. So Nicole, how are you today?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And just kind of give us a little overview about the basics of your business. How long have you been in? What made you start and all the things?
So I've been in real estate since 2007. I got my license then when everybody was getting out of real estate. I decided it was a good time for me to get my license.
Awesome.
Worked in corporate prior to that. Right after college, I got a few corporate jobs in print production and marketing and TV production. And I loved all those fields and somehow ended up in remodeling business with a colleague of mine. So we worked together in opening up his residential remodeling company. So that was about 10 years and ended up having a baby, and my dad passing right after I got my license in 2008. He's the one who inspired me to get my license. In 2007, he said, go get your license. He had his broker's license. He had his own business and he did that on the side. And I think it's a good idea for you to do that. So I went ahead and got my license with 2 small kids under 3 and doing some other work. On this, I did work part-time for that remodeling company, and I eventually left that when my 3rd kid was born, and shortly after that got a divorce. So I left that and did full-time real estate. So it was baptism by fire. That was in 2012. So 2007, it was like the crash and nobody was selling or buying, and navigating through that, taking a million classes and trying to learn what I needed to learn to get to the top. And I took that opportunity really seriously. And then in 2012, I did that full time. And that's a whole nother story. But
wow. So are you still a single mom?
I am now, yes.
Okay.
I ended up getting remarried, and ended up getting divorced recently last year. So
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's actually great. I love my life now and doing really well. And my kids are older and they're well adjusted, and I get along with their dad, and we go on trips together and do things. So
fun. Okay.
Yeah, the second ex-husband, I moved on from that and just kind of living my life here and just really plugging away on work and seeing my friends more and being out there more since I have more time since they're older.
Gotcha. And how old are your 3 kiddos now?
19, 18, and 15.
Wow. Okay. So mine are 21 and 20, almost 26.
Oh, a little bit older. And
yes. So I have 2 sons. Are yours boys, girls, a mix, or?
2 boys, and the little one's the 15-year-old, probably the little one. She's
okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the older age, like yours.
It's actually really,
I don't know.
it's really, don't rush it, but it's actually really nice. Wow, well, that's awesome. So you have worked this business as with little kids, you've done this married, you've done this single. And one thing that I do, I'm focused on specifically women on this podcast. So we're learning about all things, how other agents make this work as a single mom, or, at all ages. So you've been in this longer than I have. I've been in 2016. So I've been 8.5 years now. I had preteen kiddos or late mid-teen when I got started. So tell me, how did that, going back to when you had 3 under 3? Holy cow.
So there were 2 under 3, three
2
under 6.
under 6.
Exactly, yeah, 3 under 6. But I listened to one of your podcasts where there was another single mom too.
Yes.
She was talking about how she made that transition.
Yes.
And it was, it's interesting to hear, especially for women. I mean, I was in corporate in a time where unfortunately people were harassed or not treated well, and we were just kind of dealing with it and didn't really know our rights in that. And now it's very, very different. And I think women need to collaborate and understand each other and be vocal and honest about what's going on in work, personal life, everything. So we have a better understanding of like what's appropriate, what's not, and and use each other as a sounding board, but also inspiration of where we can be if we just give ourselves the space and time to understand ourselves and others and know to be truthful about it and have integrity with ourselves and others. So, when I got divorced, I had my license and doing it part-time because I had the 2 little kids. So when I got divorced, I ended up putting my job and like having to do it full time. And it was baptism by fire because it was 2012. It's not like it was a crazy great market. So I was working 24/7. I was changing brokerages to find a brokerage that met my needs, where they saw that I wanted to grow and then work and collaborate with me on that growth. Because I'm like, okay, I noticed that there were people couldn't really take classes and nobody was getting help. It was always just fend for yourself. And I didn't think that was very proactive for brokerages, agents. So I started doing some research on business planning. And then I started doing research on classes I could take, and I was getting designations. So I was really educating myself on the business.
Right.
That was helping my clients. And then I was doing marketing. So I was putting money into marketing. So that first year I worked at Nordstrom in the suburbs here for 6 weeks because I wanted to have like Christmas money, because I went from having a second income and having a lot of stuff taken care of for me to, even though I was working, but I was still had like young kids, to nothing, like to not having really anything. So I ended up like overspending. I ended up putting myself in a bad situation, ended up being super stressed. I ended up like overlooking red flags on things because I needed that kind of help. And I did get it. I built my career because I did get married again, and I built my career in the time that I could in this last 10 years, 12 years of doing it full time, because I had help. I had somebody cooking meals and doing things and helping me out. So I was able to build my career. And not everybody has that luxury as a single parent, for a while. So I brought that in and was able to get some help. But with that, there were other things. So here I am again. I had to restructure everything again, hire a new financial planner, and really start to grow again and reinvent myself again to keep plugging away at my business and not having, my personal life affect my business. So, and it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of resources, a lot of learning, a lot of good people in your life to help you get through it. But in the very beginning, I was broke. I didn't have any money. I didn't realize what it took to run a business. I didn't realize what it took to run a household money wise. You think, I think everybody thinks that they know until you're the only one doing it. And then you write down, what your budget is. And I had to do it. Somebody made me do it. I think it was the financial planner I hired when I had no money and no business hiring a financial planner. But that financial planner is like, what's your budget? I'm like, I don't know, and I that's the first thing I teach people in my business planning class, which I taught yesterday at Dreamtown. You've got to have a personal budget and a business budget. And it was forced on me because I already screwed up. So, doing that, I got to see how much money I was spending. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, what do I have to make it work to to make sure that I'm not, spending more than I make and being able to make ends meet. And I have kids in private school and keep my house and all these things. So I went back to the basics and took a lot of designations. I took classes. I started doing marketing. I started trying to do my budgets and pay off some debt and just keep plugging away at running my business like a business and not like a hobby or, just kind of fly by the seat of my pants. I was actually really being proactive and direct and intentional. And I knew I had a vision. And then I started filling in the gaps with things that I needed in my life and to pursue and get better at to fill in the gaps to have that vision. So the vision keeps changing, it's still there, but it changes over the years. But you have to have a good foundation, a business plan, and some direction and help and resources. Otherwise, very, very hard to do this on your own, especially as a woman or as a single parent, for those that are, parents doing this.
Well, I so appreciate you, being so open and honest about your personal life. We lost everything when I got started. So
I
believe me,
heard that. Yeah.
I know
I
it's
didn't
hard.
know how though. I know you said that you lost everything when you started real estate, but I wasn't sure how that happened.
My whole, for anybody listening, my whole story is on Icons of Real Estate. It's episode 400. So basically what happened, my husband and I were in the oil field business. I was a health inspector at the time, and we were supposed to have a good 7 to 10 year run with oil fracking in our area. We were running the wastewater end of things. So we were supplying wastewater, we were hauling fresh water. We were doing all the things portable toilet related and bulk wastewater and bulk fresh water. And it literally went away overnight. So my husband bought a brand new 18-wheeler and that did not work out so well. And we filed bankruptcy. I was afraid to tell anybody that for a year. I think I cried for a year. And when the money ran out, I had to go get a job. Well, I was going to go get a job, but I didn't want a job because I took off for a year and a half. I mean, I was kind of living the pampered life, massages every week and mani-pedis and the whole deal. And we went from that to nothing. And that's when I found real estate. Thank God I did, because I love it. The sky's the limit. But, you talked about, I got involved in a really good brokerage when I first got started, and I got a really good base. But as far as getting leads and getting started, I really did not have any help with that. I really wasn't given any leads. So how did you do that with little to no money as a single mom? I mean, you started part-time, but when you were really thrown out to the dogs, how did you vamp up your business on a little budget?
So I am aggressive.
Yeah, you gotta be
aggressive.
You fight for your babies.
I went out there a lot and got myself out there. I was single, so it was easier to go out, and I would go to the real estate events. I would sign on for classes that were personal, like, oh, I'd like to do pottery. And I started meeting people, and then I would reach out to my sphere of influence and let them know I'm doing real estate. So then I would, on my small budget, send out postcards of something I just sold. And I kept doing that month after month for years. And it ended up, and people would start to say, oh my God, you're killing. I see what you're doing. You're doing great. And that helps build your confidence because you feel like you're doing something right. And we have to think in this business too, and remember that everything we do now shows up, the benefits show up in about 3 months.
Right.
So everything we do now is not going to actually get a result like the next day. So many of the clients I'm working with right now are from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, last year. It's not like, hey, very few are like, hey, I just called you, just found you. Can you list my place tomorrow? No, it's a process.
Right.
Unless people are under stress or duress and just want to list right away or buy right away because there's some change. Yeah, that happens, of course. But the bulk of my business is referral, and it happens over time. And I'm sure you know this.
Yes.
It's after a decade, if you're consistent and you're doing the right things and you're contacting your sphere at least like 32 times a year before, because that's what you need to do before they remember you're in real estate. And you're contacting them on a regular basis and having some interest in their lives. And we throw parties, we throw these client appreciation events, we send out gifts, we contact happy birthday, happy anniversary. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, their anniversary is today. Let me reach out to them. Oh, by the way, this just happened the other day. Like, I'm going to list my place moving out of state. So I get that a lot too. And it's nice that people are thinking about you when they think about real estate. So you realize like what works and doesn't work, but it's a process of getting systems in place. So in the very beginning, how I made it work was getting systems in place. So I learned like what was lacking in the industry, and I started collecting data on it in terms of like forms, systems. Okay, when we have a buyer, this is what my buyer presentation is going to look like. When I have a seller, this monthly listing presentation is going to look like. This is what I send to them. This is when I send it to them, and this is what it includes. So I did that, and I started collecting questions of what do you ask a buyer if they call you in the car? You should know on the top of your head eventually what you're going to ask them, because it's all about asking them questions, listening, and then providing a solution to their problem. Because their problem is usually, how do I sell my place? How do I buy a place? How does this all work? I have no idea how it works.
Right.
So I'm asking the questions to figure out where they're at, where they stand, what they need help with, what their experience is thus far with buying and selling, and then letting them know what I do, because I created it over all these years and it's grown. Now, in the very beginning, it wasn't detailed, but now I can say with confidence, this is what makes me different. But it took a decade to do it. And people don't realize that it takes time. It's not overnight. And otherwise, you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants. You're losing opportunity. And I just read a good book the other day too about be ready for when opportunity walks in. And not everybody is ready for it. But
You know what that looks like, because sometimes the opportunity can be right in front of your face, but unless you know how to handle that opportunity, you might miss it and not even realize it.
Yeah. And I mean, that has happened to me. It's happened to many people. And, I journal a lot. So I look back at my journals and I'm like, oh, who is that person? Who is that person? That person probably missed a lot of opportunity coming their way because they weren't in the mood, didn't feel like it, didn't know better, and that was me at different points in my life. And it still is, because I continue to learn and want to grow and want to do better. And I don't want to disappoint my clients. And I do want them to have a good feeling about what's happening and that they feel taken care of and they feel special and they feel like, hey, this person helped me in a really, really positive, high level way in selling my place and buying a new one or whatever it may be. So that takes time to figure out what that looks like, because it's different for every person, because every person has a different personality, a different way of doing things, and different core values. So I think for new people coming in, or for women too, so much of this is, dial into what your past experience was. Because I'm sure you did that since you were doing a lot. That's a big job. It's not a small job.
No.
And plus you're probably in a male driven field, I would assume, with that.
Oh, doing the wastewater thing
Oil.
before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was mostly my husband. So I was full-time at the health department. So when I left the health department, I was honestly just kind of living a pampered life for the first time in my entire life. And then it went away until it wasn't. So
until it wasn't, right?
Right.
And I think that that's what we all have to prepare for, because in
Right.
class I said yesterday, I got divorced again, and then I'm sitting on my phone with the financial planner trying not to cry about the number he told me that I have to bring in this year. Even though I've done it before and I've done more than that. But now when somebody tells you you have to do that, or you're not gonna be able to, pay your taxes and take your kids to college and do all this stuff that, I didn't want my life to change, because I worked so hard to get my life to this point, and then subtract and go back. It's a growing learning experience, but nobody really wants to do that, right? So you try your best to keep it going. So it's been 1.5 years since I've been divorced, and it's getting better. And I actually hit that goal.
For you.
I still need, but in February I was crying about it. So, and have
Right.
help and I have resources that tell me, you built this, you created the systems, you built it. Now you
Hmm.
need to sit and really sit in it and rely on it and trust yourself. And I think as women, it's hard for us to trust ourselves because we are wearing so many different hats, so many different times. And we're like
Right.
the be all end all and the be everything. And we're expected to be that in this time
There's
of the world.
so many unwritten roles that we as women have to fit. It's, I don't understand why, we're assigned to do all the things that we have to do. And I've never been a single mom, so I don't understand it from that point of view. But I know the stress on me, and I can't even imagine that's scary for you. But you're killing it. You're doing great.
Well, I appreciate that. And sometimes you feel like, okay, I'm doing well, it's happening, but there's always, right when you get to that next level and that next level, there's always a
Yes.
possibility of it not happening and you either stay there or come back. And this happened to me. And then you just have to double down on what you're doing and what you know to be true and working. But it takes time, again,
Mhm.
the systems, the processes, and have the experience and the opportunity to have the experience to build it and have it work and see that it works over time, and then have the confidence in your ability to keep that up. But it's all time. It's all in time, and
Right.
I always tell my clients too, who are like, I can't afford this. And I say, you know what, listen, you are changing, you're growing, you're changing, you're capable,
Mhm.
you're capable of more in terms of like acquiring more money in your
Right.
profession. And they're like, oh yeah, I never thought of it that way. Yeah, your money will come. So
Hmm.
you can either stretch it a little bit and then rise to the occasion and be like, oh my God, I'm so glad I did this and it all worked out. Or you can act in fear and back out. Right.
Exactly.
And most people who do that end up not calling me for 3, 4, 5 years because they got out and then they feel lost about being so
Hmm.
fearful. And then they're like, oh, I should have bought then. Now it's too late. Now it's too late. So, but because of my experience and what I've had happen in my own life, if I gave up, I wouldn't be living where I'm living. I wouldn't know the people I know and have the opportunity and the money and the experience with my kids or other relationships if I just was like, oh, this is too hard. So,
Right.
and it's always hard for women. I don't care what job, we always have to do more
Right.
always, as women. So it's been since 2007 and my core is still the same. I'm still the same person in a lot of ways, but I just learned to reinvent myself and do better over the years because things have happened and I'm like, okay, how could I have done better? How could I have prevented that? And I only have control over myself. So it's gonna it's gonna land on me. And that's what I've been practicing. And I know you were asking me about the marketing, like spend money to make money. That's what business
Right.
do.
That's
And
exactly right.
they've mastered it where they don't have to really do it that way and they have a better bottom line.
You were talking about your system. Tell me a little bit more about your systems. What's working for you? How are you staying organized, and where are you getting your leads now?
Oh, so you touched on leads too. So I paid for a lot of leads like midway through my career
Hmm.
and they weren't very successful. So I don't do the paid by leads. I've never done Zillow. And
Okay.
our team will do like 75 to 100 deals a year. I do on average over 50 and
Awesome.
about one a week. And it's been like that for numerous years because I know that I can't go under 15 million. And in my price point in the area that I live in is Northwest Side, Park Ridge. So in Park Ridge, it's a little higher price point, like 500. In Chicago, Northwest Side, it was more like 350. So I had to do a lot of transactions to get to 15 million every year. And
That's
every
like,
year you feel like, I don't know anybody else. How am I going to
yeah.
happen again? But I know that I can't do less than that. And I always do over. So I don't do Zillow. I don't do paid lead systems. I have done some that have a referral fee, and 90% of my business is by referral. So it's getting my name out there and getting my name on benches, billboard. I've done a billboard twice with my team. And then, sending out e-blasts and emails and social media. Social media is big now. When I started, it really wasn't in 2007. So now we're posting every day, but we're not that great at social media. We're better at real estate than social media. So most of my business just gets word of mouth from other people because my name is getting out there. But it took, 15 years, 15 years for this. So it was the little actions that would compound on themselves and just create results that I wanted. Not always immediate. Sometimes they took a year or two. Some of my bigger deals take a year to have them close because they, you think you want to sell, then you don't, or you can't find something. And so it takes a while. But I started a team, and the team, I have members that are new, so I give them leads. So any leads I get, I'll hand over to them. And when I first started, collaboration and helping each other was not a thing. In 2007, you went to a brokerage and you're on your own. Like nobody was helping you. So now teams are more of a thing. And a lot of people starting get on a team because they want to know what they don't know. They want some systems and some guidelines and, parameters on what they should be doing. So the systems I created for myself, but I also created them because I knew I wanted a team, always wanted a team, because I came from corporate background. I never really worked alone. I don't like working alone.
Right.
I want to collaborate and have a feel of community and shared responsibility and shared goals moving forward to a bigger vision. So I created the team, and right now I have a partner, Mario Bongiorno, and I have Rebecca Kosdrin on the team, Marta Krejcik on the team, and Arvin he's newer. He just started. He has a part-time job, but he's doing awesome. He's really doing well with social media and get his name out there. And Aiden Fisher, I have on the team too, is a 19-year-old.
Wow, awesome.
Friends with my son, and he already closed a couple deals his first couple months.
That's so awesome. My son just got his license literally last week.
Oh,
and he's 21.
Congrats.
Yes.
They
It's
can
exciting.
do it at a young age because it's all about being a go-getter and hustling and doing work. So, I have these great people on my team, and it's nice. We're all like being around each other. We like working together, and we're building towards a future together as a team. But I knew in order to keep people on a team, you have to have some systems and some incentives. So I have an assistant, and the assistant's from my outdesk. We love her. Her name's Mia. She's fabulous. We'd rather, this guy that also uses her, Steve, and he says, I'd rather pay her than my mortgage because she's so good and we love her. And she really helps us help ourselves and be the best that we can be, because takes on a lot of responsibility and keeps things moving for us. So she's been really an integral part of our business and our success. So she's been helping create systems and the website. And systems can be, hey, we put everybody's anniversary into our calendar. We put their birthdays into our calendar. We send a gift. We make sure we get the testimonials done after every transaction. She worked on our Google My Business page. She's working on updating websites and adding testimonials to it. And then she created all our forms that we use to send out to our sellers, like a update form, mechanical and update form. We have what not to do. We created a portfolio. So there's a lot that we do to look super professional and like a business, instead of just, hey, we open doors and you can see this house and that's all we care about. So, and less transactional, but more of an experience. And that's just been the goal over the years, to create an experience.
That was actually my next question. What do you do to set yourself apart to be not just transactional?
Well, we answer our phone.
Right? That sounds so simple, but how many agents don't answer the phone? Is it so frustrating?
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we're available, we make ourselves available, but we set ourselves apart in the collaboration we have as a team and the backup and support that we have for our clients. So every time we get a testimonial, they usually mention the team. So they either mention the team or they mention the names of people who've helped out. And we'll do staging. So we'll bring people in like last minute, like, oh, you want to put your house up for tomorrow? You said next year. And then we all come in and stage the house. We all help each other. And that sets us apart because our clients like to know that, hey, if I'm on vacation, they're not going to miss a house.
Right.
Mario will
Absolutely.
show it or Rebecca will show it. So they know there's backup. We also set ourselves apart because we feel like we're more of a consultant. And people consult with us quite a bit on, hey, is this a good investment? What should we be doing this? What should we look out for? What is a good investment? What is a good return on our investment? So we really have a collaboration of like just educating our clients and consulting and just guiding them. We give them the information and they make the choice. We don't make the choice for them. We don't bully them into a choice. They decide
Right.
what they want to do. And we just give them the information because everyone's lives are so different and there's so
Mhm.
many different personalities and things that come up from the past that create a situation or a choice that maybe we don't agree on, but it's right for them.
Right. I love this. You're giving so much great information. The consulting and the education, I totally feel the same way. Because if you're not giving giving back, if it's not what's in it for me, it's what's in it for them. And you
Right.
sound like a total giver. And everybody that I talk to, it's all about the giving. You're not expecting in return, and what's coming in return comes. You keep
Yeah.
giving, it just automatically comes. If you're just giving from your heart, it comes back to you. And that's so huge, which with my son getting started, I mean, I know he needs the money and he's but you can tell when you're going out there just for the money. And over time you learn that. What can I give? What can I offer of value? Now you mentioned about your staging. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, Marta's on the team and she is a builder, a realtor, and she has her staging company. So we
Hmm,
do light staging for our clients. And she'll come in and do a consult and then bring the pieces in. We've collected pieces. She has her own pieces and more pieces that she bought. And then I gave her a few of my knickknacks, nothing major.
okay.
Put them together and we meet and stage the property. And I do that for a lot of my listings.
Now, are these vacant properties or these are homes that are already furnished?
Furnish usually.
And you're just adding to it, making it
Buyer.
okay.
Yeah, and then we just make it buyer ready.
Gotcha.
And you have to do it in a way too, where you're not insulting the people or suggesting their things are tacky or yucky. You just say, listen, there's a system, there's a method to this, there's an art and science
Mhm.
about it, and this is the art of it. The art of it is let's stage it. Let's take down the personal items and make it less personal and more inviting for the buyers to picture their own things there. Because if
Ex-
you do that, it brings more money to your client's pocket and doesn't
Right.
leave.
Now, you mentioned that she has a staging company. Does she do this just for clients or does she also do this on the side?
I think she does it on the side too, but it's a lot for
Okay.
clients right now. It's called Pure
Gotcha.
Interiors. So that's her business, Pure Interiors.
Pure Interiors. Okay. And that's out of Chicago. Okay. Pure Interiors. Okay. Awesome. Does she have a website for that?
She does, I think.
Okay.
Oh,
We
wait,
can,
what? I'll have to give it to you because I have to
yeah,
look.
that's fine. We can add that to the show notes. So just definitely email it to me.
I can email
Um, Yeah,
information.
it interests me because I do minimal staging. We flip, and if the house is vacant, I'll just do minimal staging in the kitchen and in the bathrooms, and that really seems to help. But as far as for full house furniture, I just don't have that. Um, but that's
We resource out for that too.
right.
All furniture for new construction, I just did new construction development where we staged 2 units with a staging company that brought in
Gotcha.
couches, beds, lamps, tables.
Right. One thing I've never mentioned on the show before is we've got a local furniture company that does that. So for other agents, that might be a thing because it's giving the furniture company, I think they charge maybe $400 in my area. Now I'm in Southwest Mississippi, so I'm sure it's a lot less expensive, but they will do, I believe it's dining room, living room, and bedroom. They bring in their own stuff for, it costs, I think, $400 and they will leave it the entire length of the listing.
Oh my God, that's
I
really
know, it's insane.
that's
But
cheap.
reach out to those local furniture companies if you don't have a local, if you don't have a Pure Interiors awesome place to use, those local furniture companies can help the agents as well.
That's a great idea, and that's something I can talk to Marta about. Thank you.
Yes, the kind of mom and pop smaller
Mhm.
furniture stores are the ones to talk to, not the larger chains.
And that's a really great way to make new contacts because
Mm-hmm.
those people have houses too, probably. Or
Yes.
they're renting, buying, or they're looking for a new place for their furniture shop. So it's just patronizing other people's businesses, I think is a big
Yes.
part of our business that we forget.
Right. Now, do you do open houses? Is
We
that a
do.
thing where you're
Mario
okay?
on the team, my business partner, he does a lot of opens. He likes opens. I
Okay.
typically don't do opens anymore. And usually we sell our listings within the first few days. So by the time the open happens, it's not needed.
Right.
Now,
Beautiful.
yeah, it's mostly for those sellers in our market that are having problems selling their house. So they want like open house, open house, open house. A lot of times the open house is not what sells it. It's the price. Pricing sells everything. Pricing, location, and condition.
Exactly. And if the house is not selling and the condition's bad, the price has to drop.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
People.
open houses in my area really are not for the public. They're for the other agents. We kind of have to feed them lunch and bribe them a little bit. But you do it for the sellers, but I really don't know honestly if it brings a buyer. A lot of times it does not. Sometimes it does. We get a few people trickling from from the public
They are
comes
going to
in.
see it anyway, regardless.
Exactly.
They usually are going to see it anyway, because if they're that ready, willing, and able to buy, they're looking at making appointments.
Exactly.
They just happen to have the open house that coincided with where they were that day or a day off. So
Yes.
and I think they're good to have, and it's a good way to build business, especially when you're new. Go to the open house, do open houses, call brokers in your brokerage and ask, hey, can I do your open house? Can I sit your open house? And you get people walking in all the time, and you just have to have your story straight on what you are going to tell them in terms of,
Right.
what the house is like. What are they looking for? Have they been, think about how you're going to talk to a fresh new buyer and
Right.
interest them in working with you.
And what a great way for a new agent to get free leads
Mhm.
because they're not going to have listings. So they can either do open houses. One thing that we do is we get our lenders to sponsor the food.
We do that for the brokers opens.
Okay, yeah, so that's what ours is since the public doesn't come. But maybe you could get a lender to be there and then you get free leads as a new agent. Even a seasoned agent who's trying to ramp up more business, you just sit for other people doing their open houses to bring in more leads. That's an easy way to get new leads as well.
We do co-ops, like another way to drum up some business, especially as a new agent or people who are veterans and just haven't done this yet, is contact lenders and work with the lenders to do co-op
Yes.
marketing with you, events, postcards. Um, like you said, the brokers opens.
Hmm.
Buy food. You're giving them the leads that come in. Those are, they have an opportunity to contact those people who come through the open house and see if they want to work with them on their loan. So there's a lot of opportunity there in collaboration and co-oping with other professionals. We create some marketing pieces and we co-op with an attorney, real estate attorney, or an inspector on the, inside cover or back cover, and they end up contributing to the cost of the piece.
That's great advice.
And, we just did a piece and it went out to like 2,000 people and there's his name on the back of it. Oh,
Exactly.
well,
Yeah, a lot of times, and they'll pay half the bill and everything. So it's a way you can really get your name out there on little to no money.
yes.
Depending on who. That's awesome. Well, I have gotten so much out of this time, and we are getting to the end. I looked at the clock and I said, holy cow, we're almost finished already. You have been so amazing with so much great information. I literally have like 3 full pages of notes here, just scribbling it down. You've had so much great stuff. I have one last question that I always love to ask everybody. Is what is that one heartfelt transaction that comes to mind?
Because I heard that.
That's my favorite part, because it's just everybody's got at least one. But tell me about that.
So I mean, recently had one where I've known the couple for 10 years and they trusted me to sell their house and purchase a house. They were very nervous, super, super nervous. Didn't know how they're going to do both at the same time, have a couple kids and both of them work full time, crazy hours, travel too. So they trusted us. There were other agents that they could have trusted, but they went with us. And I think a lot of it had to do with the relationship over the years and building that trust and answering questions and being there over the years for that person and maintaining and just working on that relationship. But our team jumped in and helped them stage their house and get it listed within 2 days. And then they purchased their dream home, which was amazing. Pool, I mean, large, nice, beautiful home. So much for a family. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, I'm in something that is so meaningful to them and so meaningful to me, because I love seeing families who are like that and able to do this for their kids and themselves and take a leap of faith and trust me and the team to get them there. So she was super appreciative and thanked me and we're all emotional about her and her family getting into this new place in a completely new area, about an hour plus away. And we made it happen within like 45 days. When she thought she was going to wait till next spring.
And that's something.
So it was, I think, emotional for everybody. And, it inspires me. I think that a lot of my clients do inspire me to do things differently and, to enjoy life a little bit and take those chances.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. We get so emotionally involved in our clients, and if this is the right field for you, it is. You're going to be great. And there's a lot of people that don't make it. And I think they just need to throw their heart a little bit more on the line and just know that you are truly serving these people with what could be their once in their lifetime biggest decision. There's a lot of people like me that buy and sell a lot, but most people, at least 5-10 years, they're staying in that home, and it's huge. So
it is. And that's where, they make things happen. Their, lives for themselves and their family members.
Absolutely. Well, look, I am so thankful that I got to speak with you today, Nicole. And we're going to put all your contact info in the show notes.
Okay.
And anybody has any referrals you want to send to Nicole and her team, they will take wonderful, wonderful care of you. Check out the show notes on how to contact Nicole Hadju in Chicago. And I just thank you so much for joining us on her real estate journey.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. We're going to sign off for now. And I appreciate you and everything you do. And take care. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing it again.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening to Her Real Estate Journey. I hope you're inspired to conquer your own real estate path. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Follow us on social media for updates and more stories. Until next time, keep shining and make your mark. I'm Lisa Dillon, and this is Her Real Estate Journey.